You've probably seen the headlines. After a lengthy investigation into Chinese trade practices, the U.S. announced a 25% tariff on $50 billion worth of Chinese imports. Although the two sides held talks, tensions remain high. So how did we get here? It all goes back to 2001. That's when China joined the World Trade Organization. The United States and others hoped their entry into the WTO would open China's economy, and at first, things looked promising. China's market is massive, and many American companies were excited to sell their products there. But there was a catch.
Suspicion that China is stealing intellectual property.
The only way that they could jumpstart the kind of indigenous innovation that they wanted was to be able to steal the technology.
I raised once again our very serious concerns about growing cyber threats to American companies and American citizens. I indicated that it has to stop.
Here are 4 ways China steals intellectual property, hurting our workers and businesses, and costing the economy up to $600 billion a year. First, if a U.S. company wants to operate within their borders, the Chinese government demands that they enter into a so-called joint venture with a domestic company and hand over their intellectual property. China is sending a clear message: give us your IP, the valuable technology you use to produce your products, or say goodbye to our enormous market. Top American companies like Apple and IBM now publicly accuse China of infringing on their intellectual property rights. But the theft of foreign companies' IP isn't always so explicit. The Chinese government and military regularly infiltrate U.S. companies' computer systems, stealing terabytes of data, all to provide commercial advantages to Chinese enterprises. In other cases, it is the lack of action that is the problem. The Chinese government turns a blind eye to the fact that online piracy remains a huge problem in China, impacting the music, film, software, and video game industries, among others. Chinese manufacturing companies even pirate the enterprise software that American manufacturers must buy on the market. Finally, China's government is investing heavily in some U.S. companies, hoping to capture strategic technology and other valuable information. This raises major national security concerns, since the Chinese government is targeting key industries like telecom. It's clear that China's state-run market is rigged. Stolen knowledge enables them to quickly make their own versions of American products. American companies must then compete against the technology they spent years perfecting. Now, the U.S. is acting to combat this rampant trade cheating. One thing is clear: unless China faces consequences for its actions, nothing will change.